Hi, my loves. Welcome to Remember Who the Fuck You Are So the Game Can Change, the podcast that is here to step things up, to really amplify and give you permission to rise. Oh my goodness. And as I say that, there are dolphins. Hang on. Oh my goodness. So, welcome to the Soul Sisters, the Legacy series. I, oh my goodness. I love how spirit give you signs and synchronicities. So today's episode is just about the evolution of Soul Sisters, and also just the legacy, and just believing in yourself and knowing that they give you little signs of, I'll tell you a story. So back in when I lived in Victoria, so for those who don't know, I moved from Victoria. I actually grew up in South Australia, then moved to Adelaide. I then moved to Melbourne, met my husband. We moved to country Victoria, lived there for about 15 years, and just recently, the last couple of years, moved to New South Wales, in Wollongong, and it's just been incredible. So back when I was living in Victoria, I had this calling of doing retreats. I'd never been on one, but I just felt like the container, I was running circles at that moment in time, and I knew how powerful that was, and how incredible the transformation my girls were getting. And I thought, if I could bring that into a container type thing, because circles are great, but then you go into your everyday life, like it's a couple of hours, that's it. And I thought, if I could get women to come together for like a weekend, that would be just incredible. So I'm like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna put it out there, see what happens. And I put it out there, a 2-day retreat, and I had a lot of ladies go, oh my God, like, yes, that would be amazing, but those dates don't work, those dates don't work. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. And it was actually just before we moved. So then I'm like, oh, I can't really, like, I'm not exactly sure exactly what date we're going to be leaving. So, like, I didn't want to, I didn't want to commit to something and then I go, oh, sorry, I'm now leaving the state. So I just thought, that's okay. And that's happened a lot in my journey, is spirit has guided me to push me to just put something out there. And it hasn't been successful, in quotation marks, what other people would say is successful. However, there's two folds with things. One, yes, wouldn't we love for everything to unfold the way we want it to unfold? That we put a course out, or we put an offering out, and it gets sold out, and there's just a reoccurring and a lot of things happening. That's one incredible opportunity and a thing to happen. But then there's also the opposite side of that. And this is something that I really want you to think about and look back on and keep an eye out for, and just keep in the back of your mind, is that sometimes the offer that we've been guided to put out isn't just for it to be sold out, isn't just for you to receive money and for it to happen. Sometimes it is there to push you. It is there to put you out of your comfort zone. It is there to expand you, and it is there to see that you can do it. and to also give you a glimpse into what's coming. So whilst that retreat wasn't the right one, it still gave me the push I needed and the guidance I needed and the validation that the ladies, they were wanting it, but it just wasn't the right time, and that's okay. So moving to Wollongong, I still had this calling and this like urge and this nudge to do retreats, but I had to go through what the initiation of moving here and the energy and connections and all of that. And for those who've been following along, you've seen my journey of going to Bali, and I'm doing a trade with incredible Lise for her retreat that she was running in Bali. To then, after that first retreat, her saying we should do this together. Because whilst I was there, I had again a nudge to offer the ladies a session in regards to a group session where I sit and do a group healing, group activation. And instead of going, oh no, like I shouldn't, I just spoke to Lisa and said, hey, this is what I'm thinking, like, are you okay with that? She's like, hell yeah. So I just did it. And that then shifted in me the idea and expanding the idea of doing retreats. And also then Lisa's like, hey, we should do this together. And then her saying we should do this in 2027. And because she had two retreats coming up, 2026. And then during the year, she's like, you know what? I think we need to do it this year, like 2026. So that's what's happening in the next couple of days. Next couple of weeks is Bali and that incredible journey. And that's the thing as well, is once we open up to things, is that's when also more things can be unlocked, right? So when I was in Bali the last time in May, it was also to get a feel for the retreat and running it and understanding it and seeing how I can fit in and how I can work with it. And that's the thing, is when I'm going to get emotional, that's the thing, is that when we have been doing this all by ourselves with no parents, no siblings, me, myself and I, my business, limited support with family, you're the one that you can back, you're the one that you can trust, you're the one that does everything. So a really powerful thing that came up in May in Bali with Lise, we were just sitting by the pool, and in that retreat, instead of a group activation, I offered one-on-one activations and sessions with me, which was beautiful and amazing, but also a little taxing, and because I was going through my own stuff, and I just gone through all my dad's stuff. If you haven't caught up on that, head back and have a look at the past episodes. And so I was just having a moment with Lise in the pool, and I was talking about how what we're doing and what she already does there, and that activities and things like that, I was wanting to just slightly change, put my spin on it, because Lisa had invited me into this world that she had already created, and me having to do everything by myself, to be invited into a place where it's done for me, that actually brought up a challenge, because when you're so used to doing things your own way and having to start from scratch and build from scratch, and it was actually unnerving that I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to rewrite the wheel. I didn't have to come up with ideas. I just had to add like me into the mix. And it was an incredible opening that changed a lot for me. And I feel like there's been a lot of past things coming up lately. That I'm enough. That I'm enough to come into Lisa's world that she's created and not have to change things, not have to rearrange things, not have to put my spin on it, because just me being there is enough. Me giving what I give is enough. So the only thing that we've changed is that we're sharing the morning session. Yeah, we've been chatting leading up to Bali, and she's like, now I get to have help. Now I don't have to do it by myself. So it's the flip side of what I was, I don't have to rewrite and start from scratch, and then she gets to then have support and have someone else there helping and leaning and guiding, and it's not all on her. So, and to think that only 2 years ago, like literally 2 years ago, I finally made the jump and the leap to put out a retreat in Victoria, and now 2 years later I'm now running him in Bali. Like, oh my god, I'm running him in Bali. And we sold out. The first one sold out. We actually have an extra one. So we have 9 incredible women joining us, which is, so there's 11 of us, which is so incredible, and that in itself has been a journey, because yeah, like I am in the sovereign standstill of, I was told it's going to be full, so trust and knowing that, and it's been a bit of a process of trusting that and knowing, like 2 weeks before, we still had, we only had 7 booked in, and then within 2 days, 2 more. So it's an incredible journey that we've been on, and that I've been on, and I want you to know that if you have an idea, if you're given a download and it doesn't show the success of it, doesn't book out, doesn't take effect, that's okay. I need you to be okay with that. I need you to know that there is a soul purpose for it. There is learnings, and there is, just you doing that is so incredible. Just you taking that action means more to you, more than you will ever know. and understand, because there are so many people who are sitting on the sidelines, not willing to step up into that stage and put themselves out there. So you just doing that act of putting it out there is ahead of the game already, right? And then if you need to detour, that's okay too. So I put out a retreat for my soul sisters. It was a one night quick thing just here where I live. And it was at a big incredible retreat space, and I wasn't getting the numbers. I had a few, but then also a lot were pulling out, and I'm like, okay, let's see where this goes. And at the last minute, I'm like, okay, if I haven't sold, that's okay. Let's pivot. And that's the other thing as well, is you, just because you say this is where it's going to be, if it doesn't eventuate, that's okay. So what I just did was go, okay, so for the women who have paid and who have showed up, I'm going to honour that. And I checked in with them and said, hey, do you mind if we, I didn't get the numbers, do you mind if we switch locations? They're like, yeah, that's fine. So I did. So we just switched to an Airbnb, and it was incredible. We ended up out on the headlands, and we had an activation there, and there were ladybugs flying in that on my dress, and we had a sign from another lady. Her sign is magpies. There were 3 magpies sitting next to her. We had whales come in and swim on past at the end. We had dragonflies flying around. It was just incredible, and also helped flip things for a few of the girls, because it wasn't completely structured, because I am divinely guided, or go with the flow. And instead of it being activity after activity after activity, it was a slow, nurturing, soulful time. And then in the morning, then it was the activation, and it was an incredible and a beautiful thing. So that's the thing as well. So you've got different aspects here of getting the download, putting it out. If it doesn't sell out, it's okay. If you need to pivot, that's okay. And just know that there is a divine reason for it all. Thank you for joining me. I will see you soon. Mwah. Bye.